Welcome back, everybody, to Mildly Entertaining. I'm Void,
I'm Jack.
and today is Am I the Asshole?
Yes.
Thanks.
Oh, you meant to
Yeah,
read it.
I did.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of did, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We're good.
No, I don't think we are. Already plotting your
Well,
death.
that's not new. So
This is fair. Okay, we have 3 posts for you today, and I have no idea what they're about because Jack picked them out.
I did. I picked him. I know what happens. Haha.
I hope not. I hope you didn't read through these.
No. I just I read it a little bit, but only enough to know if it was gonna be good.
They are medium-ish length, so hopefully my
See?
voice doesn't decide to crack on me and we'll be okay.
It will.
Yeah. First post. Would I be the asshole for cutting my mother in law off for not letting her see my children? Oh, and not letting her see my children. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. And then I was like, oh, no, I'm just an idiot. It's fine.
Yes.
Nobody asked your opinion, Jack.
No. But it is given freely.
This is accurate. My husband, 30 male, and I, 28 female, have been married for 3 years. We have 2 beautiful children, 8 female and 3 male. Backstory. I've been knowing my husband's dad since I was about 9. Let's call him Big R. He dated my mom. I know that you are all thinking, like, how did this happen, right? My mom would date someone without the knowledge of her children unless knowing things got really serious. When I was about 11, my mom, let's call her F, introduced her kids to Big R's kids. Of course, kids like each other. We're kids. They live in Texas with the mother who was separated but still married to Big R. They had
I
been.
oh wow. That was
What?
that's already a handful and a half.
Yes. And I feel like slightly unnecessary.
Well, maybe.
Um yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Cuz it
We'll
does
we'll see.
involve their mother, the mother-in-law.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. Um they had been separated for years at this point. Not sure why the divorce never happened. Thing is, my husband, let's call him Little R, was mean and very
How
quiet.
creative.
And at the time, boys were icky. Fast forward to Fast forward, my little R confessed his love to me when I was about 15. But then my mom and Big R were getting serious. When little R and I told our parents we wanted to date, that's when things hit the fan. And they forbid us to date due to them wanting to date themselves. Soon after that, my mom and her kids moved in with Big R and his kids. With Big R and his kids didn't visit much. My mother in law didn't really like my mom or any woman Big R dated because her marriage failed. Little R and I lost contact until I moved out of the house at 17. When I turned 19, I packed my dorm room. I packed my dorm room in my little car and drove to be with my man. All of this is important for later. God, I hope so. That was a lot to read.
It's just a lot to absorb.
Little R, big R.
This
Ugh,
has more twists and turns than a country road.
I don't know if it's going to take me home.
And no, it's not. It's going to take me to the mental asylum.
I'll show you. In car.
Why am I upside down?
Fast forward to current. I've dealt with so much drama with mother in law, from her lying on me to little R and her family, putting me out while I was pregnant with my oldest, although I asked to stay for 2 weeks till my place was ready, to straight smiling in my face when she was in fact trying to hurt me and my marriage behind my back. I can legit write a book on this lady. Anywho, I lost my mother to breast cancer in 2025. During the time she was fighting for her life, my mother in law was telling people she was faking being sick. Are you slow? People don't fake cancer. Yes. I used to play this browser game where it had a chat place, and one person actually like did that for attention. They they screamed cancer, and it was, you could tell. You could blatantly tell.
One of them kind. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, she was also in my face acting as a helping hand. When she passed away, my mother in law was so consoling and acting as a support when all the while she had a malicious intent. She asked for a copy of my mother's obituary. I told her I had no extra, but she begged for it for weeks. So apparently she saw two in my car and wanted one of them, but the two I had specifically wanted for my own reason, so I didn't give her one of mine. Eventually I gave in and gave her one, shortly after she decided to set my mother's obituary on fire. Yes, you read right, on fire. Using sage alt at that. And her daughter's wife witnessed it. She apparently thought it was a laughing matter when it wouldn't burn so easily. This woman is insane. This past month, I've helped her on multiple occasions, even let her stay with me for like 3 weeks, and come to find out she did this. My sister in law's wife told me she couldn't stand by and watch me do for her anymore while holding the secret. They didn't know how to tell me. It was done when my mother's death was still fresh, and I'm coming up on 1 year in 2 months. So this has happened some time ago, and I just found out. I'm known for 3 days currently, waiting on my husband to find the words to speak with her about it, but as of now, she's blocked and banned from my home. Am I the asshole?
No.
No.
No, in
She,
fact, go to that bitch's house and smack her in the face right now.
she cray cray. She cray cray. Like, absolutely mental. Mental. Who does stuff like that? Oh, okay, well, I already know
Yeah.
somebody. So.
Answered your own question. It's fine.
Yeah, yeah. His name's Randy. Anyway, our verdict is you're not the asshole.
Nope. Not the asshole.
Are we
In fact,
ready?
that would be a reason to become violent.
I
Not
do
physically
not
violent.
condone violence. I condone petty.
Not physically violent,
There's
verbally
only
violent.
one
Now's
violence.
now's now's the time to go over there and raise your voice and put your foot down and tell her, "Listen here, bitch."
Is that it?
Oh, well, I don't want to go too deep into the spiel
Oh,
because
that's what I was.
yeah,
That's what I was waiting for.
because it's like we gotta finish up and shit. But yeah, I wouldn't have waited for the husband, is what I'm saying. If I'd been her, I wouldn't have let the husband deal with it. I would have dealt with that.
I would have told the husband I was going to go deal with it.
Yeah, he'd have known I was going to do it, but he would not have been in charge of doing it. No. The crazy gets put in her place, and she learns what's at stake. You about to lose the right to see your own kid
Um,
and your grandkids.
Considering she locked OP out in a harsh weather while
That would have
pregnant,
been
she doesn't really
that
care
would
about her grandkids.
no.
Yeah, that would have
So
been my cutoff point.
so even then it would have been like, okay, this ends. You're done. You're never gonna see us again.
Yeah.
We're not gonna contact you. You can't contact us.
I mean, I can't. She can't stop her husband, but she can stop her and her kids.
Yeah, but she can set hard ground rules. You go to her, she doesn't ever come over here. You don't take the children,
Yeah. And you don't give her updates.
and you don't give her updates. Nothing. She does
Hard,
not know what happens to this family.
hard information diet. Cold turkey. All right, let's move on. Next post.
Next post.
Am I the asshole for flushing my abusive father's ashes instead of spreading them at the beach like he requested? No. All right, just
No.
next post. We're done. No.
Okay, but I feel like there is more to it, though.
All right. I know the title sounds insane. It doesn't. But hear me out. My father died by suicide last summer while he was in jail. For most people, losing a parent would be devastating, but for me, it was the opposite. My father was a very bad man. I don't want to go into too much detail because the situation actually made the news, and I'd prefer to stay anonymous, but his crimes involved women and children. That man ruined my life. We had a terrible relationship, and the damage caused by what he did will affect me forever.
So far, I'm in agreement with the no.
Yes.
But here we go.
After he died, he was cremated according to his wishes, and my mom and I received his ashes. Apparently, his final request was to have his ashes spread at his favorite beach. My mom told me that at some point I needed to take a day off of work so she, my brother, and I could drive to the beach together and spread them. For context, we never even had a funeral for him. It was considered in poor taste because of everything that happened, and honestly, nobody really loved him anyway. Months kept passing and the beach trip kept getting pushed off. Recently, my mom started bringing it up again and nagging me about it, about when we were going to do it. I work full time, 40 plus hours a week, and I'm already exhausted most days. The idea of spending my day off driving hours just to spread my father's ashes honestly made me angry. Why should we even fulfill his last wishes when last time he got what he wanted non-actually it
Good job.
ended up in a prison sentence. So we know what he did.
Yes.
We're not going to say the word though.
No, we're going to keep going.
So the other day after work, I went to my mom's closet where the ashes were kept and flushed them down the toilet. When my mom got home later, she noticed the urn was gone and immediately asked where the ashes were. I told her I flushed them. She completely broke down crying and started yelling at me. She said that even though he was a bad man, he didn't deserve that bullshit. Bullfuck. And since we never even held a funeral, the least we could have done was honor his final request. What confuses me is that my mom was one of his victims. My father mentally, physically, and abused her during their marriage. They met in the military when she was 19. She's 50 now. And were married for over 2 decades. When he was finally arrested, she spent hours talking about how horrible he was and how miserable their marriage had been. She even has a new boyfriend now. In our family, it's almost a running joke that we sit around and talk about how awful my dad was. Because of that, I genuinely didn't expect her to react like this. I honestly don't feel bad about what I did, but seeing how upset she was made me question things. Am I the asshole? Still no.
I'm going to go with partially. And here's why. We don't know the mom's context. Spreading his ashes may not have been about honoring his last wish. It may have been about closure for her.
But she didn't say that.
No, she didn't say that. So
She
that's why I say
specifically
partial.
said that he deserved.
Right. By not speaking out, that makes the mom also partially. So it's a two-part whole part. They are combined a whole asshole.
I disagree. I believe
But
that OP is not the asshole, and I believe the reason the mother reacted the way she did was actually a nervous system
It
related
could have
issue.
it could have been, but again, since we don't know the full context other than what we're being told by OP.
The
However, as angry as OP was the very first time before she got frustrated by the constant nagging about it, she could have asked, why is it so important that we spread his ashes?
we don't know she didn't, or they didn't.
Right, we don't know. So not her her reaction to her father's request that he clearly wanted them to spread his ashes, not the asshole. Her waiting until she was frustrated to actively do something about it instead of right away trying to find out what the is going on. Because I would have already been like, why is this coming to us? You see
Based
what I'm saying?
based off the context we were given, not hard, not the asshole.
Yeah, and
And
there's no update, so it's just we're kind of stuck in limbo.
was only posted 2 days ago. Um, I
I
feel
mean,
the
fair.
I feel the reason her mother broke down like that was because her nervous system went into fight or flight, because in her mind she didn't do what her husband requested her to do. He's going to come after her even though she knows he's gone.
Right. Again, we don't have enough context other than she freaked
Yeah,
out.
no, I know that.
Yeah.
I'm just stating my
So
opinion.
there's no telling what that could be. That could be trauma response. That could have been a need for closure. That could have been literally anything. So again, for her reaction to her father's request, no, not the asshole. Hard no. I would have flushed them too. I would not have even waited that long. You don't get to do that and then make a request of me. You don't. Even if it's your death
I think
request.
at some point I also just would have said, "Look, I'm not gonna do it. So you and brother do it, because I'm not. I'm not
Yeah.
in."
Again, there were instances where the OP could have said something rather than just react after she got frustrated. You
I
see what
get
I'm
it though.
saying
Like,
now?
I'm also pretty impulsive because of certain circumstances in my life. So like
Right.
in that sense, I totally get it. But
But like OP said, this went on for what was it, a month, maybe more?
yeah,
She did have time to speak up and go, I don't want to do this. I don't care. And that alone might have gotten her information she
and
needed.
that's assuming she didn't.
Right, because again, we don't
Yeah,
know
we don't
because
know.
it's not labeled in the story.
We're not gonna get months of word specific conversations. So
Yeah.
okay, last post. Are you ready?
Yes.
Am I the asshole for how I responded when my former friend, now married to my sister in law, reached out? It's a long, complicated story, but I'll do my best to make it short. So, my older brother, passed away in 2025. He left behind his wife, let's call her Natalie, and two kids under 10. It was a devastating sudden loss. We were very close, and his death was something I had to learn to live with. Honestly, I wouldn't have survived it without one, my parents' support, and two, my friend circle. The guys were there for me 24/7 and helped with my studies and stuff. So, I have this particular friend. He's now a former friend. I'll call him Scott, who used to be one of my closest friends, but then our relationship went downhill after I found out that he and my sister in law Natalie were seeing each other. At first, I thought there's no way that could be true. I denied when my friends were trying to warn me, and even people on Natalie's side, till one of my friends leaked texts and voice messages between the two. Turns out it was true, and they were seeing each other secretly literally months after my brother's death. I confronted Scott, and he downplayed the whole thing. Things could have gotten worse, but my friends told me to back off, and they cut him off completely. He and Natalie, who BTW refused to let my parents see their grandchildren because of their reaction, announced their wedding date, which was on the 13th of January. I'm mad. I'm
Yeah,
hard mad. I
this
am
is hard, man.
yeah. It all happened so fast. I couldn't get the chance to grieve my brother properly. I lost whom I thought was a decent friend and was denied access to my niece and nephew. I have cut them both off and refused to speak to either of them. I kept suspecting they might have been seeing each other while my brother was still alive. The thought itself makes me lose my shit completely. Scott started reaching out. Turns out he's been trying to contact every single one of the group but was blocked. He reached out to me trying to start the conversation by bringing the kids into it. He talked about how I must have missed the kids and how he could figure out a way to convince Natalie to let me see them again. He said he had one condition, and that was to reconcile with me in the group and everything goes back to normal. I didn't respond to that long wall of texts of what I really think of him, though I wanted to. But instead, I waited for a couple days because I told him I needed time to think about it. I simply sent him 2 letters, not even words. Just 2 all caps letters, F-U. He lost it and kept spam texting, talking about how our friendship was 10 years but nothing to me. And how he did oh, I have a comment about that. And how he did not mean to disrespect my brother's memory. Yes, he did. And how he tried to mend things in the family and bring it back together, etc., etc. I did not respond at all. My friends didn't comment on this, but my parents think I mishandled the situation and made it worse. They insist I call him and even apologize for what I said to him, but I said no. The whole family thinks I'm standing between them and the kids now. I am aware of the outcome. I may never see my niece and nephew again, but the hurt is a real
Is real, not
and
his. Yeah, and
and this is something that I don't think I'll be able to reconcile to. I need unbiased opinions uh on here. Am I the asshole? No. Yeah,
no.
you could have handled it better, but the outcome was going to still be the same. Had you said no, even had you politely said no, you still weren't going to see your niece and nephew.
Yeah,
Natalie's
no.
trash and garbage, and so is Scott.
And in fact, you should tell them that. You should tell them that you will never try to reconcile Scott with your friend group because he's a worthless piece of human being trash.
Tell him, the fact that he even tried to say that 10 years of friendship meant nothing to you, clearly it meant nothing to him. Because he couldn't even be respectful to your late brother. And
Yeah,
I don't
because
even
first,
want to
because
hear about how he did not mean to disrespect his brother memory because clearly he did.
yeah, no, he deserves to be out of that friend group. Period.
Yeah, and
He deserves what happened to him.
Natalie is also toxic trash. And I do absolutely believe that they were hooking up
Yeah, enough so
before.
that I believe the family ought to file charges to try and gain custody of the niece and nephew.
Yes. Yes.
Use the texts.
And the voice
Use the
messages, yeah.
yes and the voice messages. All of it. Take them to court. And when Natalie realizes she has a real chance of losing those kids, she's either going to back the fuck off and behave, or she's going to lose them. And then she's never going to see them again.
Either way, you can take them to court, depending on where you are. In the US, you can sue people for anything. But you can take them to court and just demand you get visitation.
Yeah, court compliant visitation.
Yeah.
She has to let you see them.
But no, you are so not the asshole Scott and Natalie are.
Yeah, no.
Honestly, they are complete garbage of people. Complete garbage. You cannot tell me otherwise. Well, those stories were interesting, weren't they?
Very.
We kind of got a
Told you
little
you'd like them.
heated. I almost threw hands at you on that second one.
I told you you'd like it.
Yeah, I did.
You'd like these.
I think the minions will
These were
too.
these were good ones.
Absolutely. I could not have picked better ones myself, honestly. You're forever picking stuff to react to.
I do okay.
Well, that's it for today's video, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye. Like,
Bye!
subscribe, share around. Bye.